On August 7th, I was arrested for trespass. The police did a unlawful, malicious, and retaliatory arrest against me, Virginia Henry, who was evicted from her place on Appleton Street, and two other supporters. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 police cars. We got a marshal. We got video surveillance on the police. We got a non-violent action. We got a civil dispute on 11 Appleton Street. And we have a lot of city resources right here.
What I'm telling you is, without something from the judge, signed by the judge, I cannot legally let you on that property. Without something signed by a judge, technically you're trespassing. And if the person in charge of the property wants to charge you with trespassing...
He's trespassing on my property because the judge said I still own the property. So he's actually the one that's trespassing.
Okay, but
and I know you heard the judge say to me direct when everybody in the courtroom stood up, I am the owner of the property. I am not trespassing.
But all I'm asking for is some type of documentation.
The judge didn't give me no papers. He just said to get a private attorney if this continued on, you know, to help straighten it out.
Did you get a private attorney?
Yeah, we got one. We're working on it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're going to have to straighten out with them and Fannie Mae through the court process. Once there's some type of document in my hand signed by a judge saying you own this property.
What is your name,
we're
sir?
All set. Mike Perkowski.
Okay. You got it?
You got it. You got it.
Thank you.
So you're not going to go on it anymore then?
Till tomorrow, we're going to have a press conference here, and we're going to, I'm going to try to get your court order. That what he did here was wrong. Illegal eviction on my house. Because deep down inside, he the one trespassing. We need to get a warrant for it, okay? I've been trying to get a warrant for his arrest the last 2 days. With his friend, with his marshal friend, aiding and abetting with the police department. Aiding and abetting with the police department to put people out of their house. And I'm not going to just be eliminated out of mine.
I mean, but you have
so I'm going to get a court order. I'm going to get whatever I have to get. And I hope you're recording it because I'm I'm serious with this. It don't inconvenience me and my family 2 weeks. And I'm not staying in a hotel no more. Not another day.
You have to understand that there is no way that I'm trying to inconvenience you at all. But I've been here from the beginning.
Yeah, but you're on his side. One way or another.
No, I'm not.
When this marshal drove up, Marshall Sandy, whatever his last name is, I got it on the papers. He thinks he intimidate the public, but he does not intimidate Virginia Henry.
I've been here from the beginning. I saw the eviction papers. You know
a 2-day handwritten notice, not a court order eviction to go to court.
That's the legal process.
But the legal process is you have to serve papers, and they weren't served to her.
That doesn't come under me. That comes under the city marshal.
Right.
You have to serve a person papers to go to court with.
Okay, according to the city marshal, that was all done. That's why a judge signed an eviction.
Can we talk with the city marshal?
He checked the records, and they have not served me.
11 Appleton, there was no... Can we talk with him, the marshal?
He's over there. You guys are more than welcome to do whatever you want. I mean,
ask him the question so you can
record it. He doesn't work for me. I don't work for him.
Okay.
They're separate entities.
Okay.
Yeah, but he must work for the police department. Y'all came to aid and abet him to do whatever.
We come because we don't want to see any hostilities break out into
because he sure jumped out with some hostility, didn't he?
And threats.
Well, you seen it just then. He jumped out with it the way he came out like he's some bounty hunter. Just then, he did it the other day to me. He did it the other day. That caused the problem. Well, why would they just grab hold of me like that then if all of a sudden, if it wasn't in his favor?
When did they grab hold of you?
Yeah, okay.
Was it July 20th, that Thursday?
I don't know the date, but that day I had to go to the hospital because I was coming home from the hospital when they slammed me on the ground over there. He said he was here, he would have seen it over there.
Right.
If you want to
Sandy,
go,
can I speak with you for a second? Can I speak with you for a second? So hi, I'm Ryan.
Yeah, I know.
So
we are.
So the discrepancy we got here is, so we looked up in the court records, and on for 11 Appleton, no papers were served for the eviction, which is where she lives. So
Okay.
so we're worried about that because we know that legally people have to be served. You know.
Okay,
So,
just keep. Okay, so we end this quickly.
okay.
Judge signed the warrant.
Right.
Okay. My job
Right.
is to make sure that it's executed.
Okay.
We did that. Okay. Now, if there's a legal issue,
Okay.
obviously that's between you and whoever you want to take the legal issue up with.
Okay.
But as far as I'm concerned, it was a legal eviction. Anybody found on that property is trespassing.
Okay.
Okay? And it's a criminal act. Once I leave and those door locks are chained, and in this case the window's boarded, it's a criminal act. So somebody today took the boards down. Okay? So that's it, right? That's it.
So it doesn't bother you that she wasn't served the eviction legally?
I have a job to do like everyone else.
Right.
As you do, as I do.
Sure.
Okay? Court order was signed. Once that court order is signed, I took an oath. I have to enforce the court order.
Right. And you have no power to say this doesn't look right?
Absolutely not. As far as I'm concerned, it's everything was done fairly and done in a court of law.
Right, but I'm telling you something that.
Well,
But you don't want to hear the
we
facts.
have a different opinion, okay? We have a different opinion.
It's not opinion. You can look it up in the court records.
We have a different opinion.
Wow. So the marshal says it's a matter of opinion whether she was served the paperwork and it was an illegal eviction. Unfortunately, this is a factual basis. It's public record whether she was served paperwork or not for the eviction on 11 Appleton Street.
Yeah, we're all still on the property.
I went on the property. I was across the street. I went on the property.
I saw you on the
Now
property.
you call me back on the property for him
No,
to
no,
arrest?
no. I saw you on the
You
property.
just called me back on the
You're
property.
not on the property, honey. You're on a sidewalk. You're not even on the property. You're on a
You just
city
said it.
sidewalk.
I have pictures of her on the property. Can you walk over?
Look, show him your
Let's do this
pictures on the
next- let's do
sidewalk
next
then.
one, too.
You show me your pictures.
Yes, I saw him on the
Yes,
property. I saw him on the property. Could you arrest
Sir,
him
can
too,
you put your
please?
hands behind your back,
I'm
please?
under arrest again.
You are.
Okay.
Sir, you just put your hands behind your back.
Okay?
Now,
Jake,
see, I told you. I told you.
These two, I saw them on the property.
Show me
Arrest
your
these two.
pictures.
Arrest two, both of
That's
them.
what you did to me last time.
You're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back.
Within your pocket, please.
and basically the police arrested us for trespassing even though we were on the sidewalk. And when I asked why am I being arrested, they said, Sergeant Bukowski said, we're not responsible, this is a citizen's arrest. And I saw Chief Shepard that night at the police building, and he said yes, this was a citizen's arrest. But it certainly wasn't simply a citizen's arrest because I was handcuffed, I was imprisoned, and I had to be raised bail to get out of jail. Legally, a citizen's arrest is when a citizen actually detains someone when they actually see someone commit when they believe someone has definitely committed some crime or offense. That never happened on August 7th. Not only did I not commit a violation, the citizen in question, the person who claimed to be property manager of the property, never said anything to me on that day. There was no citizen who did any arrest. The police did all the work. But what they did was that they created this tactic where they say, we're going to stop you because we had just the week before publicly protested the police for that eviction at that house, and those exact officers who came back to the scene for police brutality and excessive use of resources to force people out of their homes when it turns out it was an illegal eviction and she was just trying to show them the paperwork. So it was clearly just the police involved, and it was clearly retaliatory. And they didn't follow even their own procedure, which you cannot arrest someone for a violation if it's not committed in your presence. And that's exactly what they did. It's clear-cut criminal procedure, but instead they were trying to shut us down, and it was retaliatory. And of course, we brought that to the judge. This was yesterday, October 6th. I appeared before Judge Yacknin in Rochester City Court. Myself and my lawyer filed a motion to dismiss based on the whole charge is trumped up from beginning to end, but the basic piece is that the police cannot arrest someone for a violation if it's not committed in their presence, which is exactly what happened in this case. I wasn't even on the property when the police showed. I wasn't even in the vicinity as the police showed up. Virginia's daughter called me and said there's a number of police here. Virginia lives around the corner, so the property manager was trying to retaliate against her. So I came to the scene when the police were already there. The reports all show that. That's why they tried to do a citizen's arrest, because the police didn't see anything. But the judge hemmed and hawed for 45 minutes. The judge denied my First Amendment right to speak at my own defense, which was egregious. And then my lawyer, who made a straightforward motion and a very straightforward defense and a very straightforward case, the judge acknowledged that it would be an unlawful arrest if the police arrested me for a violation, that's alleged violation that committed outside their presence. But she said, I'm just gonna take this to trial. And the previous 3 times I appeared, she tried to bully me into an ACD, a German contemplating dismissal, which basically is a type of plea deal that says, well, you know, we won't have the charge stick, but you have to be under all these restrictions. You have to have order of protections. You can't, you get in trouble if you're arrested within the next 6 months. There's no reason for me to have any restrictions for a charge that is completely bogus. So I was not going to be bullied into that. And she was resentful about that. And she, in previous cases, has shown prejudice against myself and this group, Take Back the Land Rochester, which I'm a part of. And so this was a very frustrating court appearance and demonstration in the way the criminal and justice system works. And if I'm having this much trouble with such a straightforward violation, it's even more frustrating to think about all the people that are unjustly charged with misdemeanors and felonies that are running up against this type of court system. I'm lucky enough to have a good lawyer who's fighting the case, making the arguments, who does care, and I'm having all sorts of problems just getting the basic legal defense, running up against this judge and this type of system. So my just add insult to injury, my judge set the trial date for February 2nd. So much for right to a speedy trial, and we're gonna go from there and strategize and try to figure out the best way to process. But definitely, the hope is that the charge should be still dismissed and found not guilty, because yeah, we have video. The police arrested us on the sidewalk for trespassing. Yeah, I think it'd be great if people came out, people that are upset with the way criminal justice system is working, people that are supporting, people that are housing advocacy. This is important because it's become a political case where myself, as part of Take Back the Land Rochester, fighting for housing as a human right, supporting Virginia Henry, who was evicted on that day, and we were clearly targeted as an organization on that day, since we had called the police out, and it was front page of the local section of the Democrat and Chronicle, the paper of record locally, and other news sources made it clear that we're not going to let this happen in our community. And we were myself and others involved were arrested as a form of retaliation, and we need to stand up against that and against the police department and the system that's trying to silence our voices, stop us for coming together and standing up for our community members. So all the support for me and the other defendants and everybody else that's going through foreclosure, illegal evictions, we have to come together, we have to support each other, or they're just going to run us all out of our own community.